Hey guys, it's Randy with BunnyZine.com and welcome to another episode of the BunnyZine BZCast. That's it. You guys just heard some new intro music. The intro music is from a royalties free website for incomptech.com. That is, the artist is Kevin MacLeod or Kevin MacLeod. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Very, very cool. I have to give a quick shout out before the show starts to my friend Catherine, who was the guest on the last episode. Catherine was the woman who told her story about being being a show rabbit breeder for a little while with her ex-husband. She sent me a podcasting book in the mail. It's very, very neat. I actually wish I would have had this last June when I started the podcast because it would have been way more helpful. Because it was such a pain in the butt when I was trying to start this show, going through the different feeds and trying to figure out how to upload this and upload that. And there's a lot more work into just starting the podcast than what you might think, looks on the outside. There's a lot more tedious things that you have to go through than I would have thought. I learned the hard way. But again, thank you, Catherine, for this book because it did help me find this website for the intro music. It might not be the same every time. I might change it up, every once in a while. Again, the right credit, and I'll source to the artist. Well, cite the artist. That's what I meant. I'll cite the artist in our YouTube and YouTube videos and Soundcloud and iTunes. Speaking of this podcast book that Catherine sent me, I had been debating this for a while, and that is putting the BunnyZine BZCast on Stitcher, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. And what do you know? This book, even though it's from 2013, was still very helpful. It has directions, like literally a chapter, 4 or 5 pages into uploading your podcast and signing up with Stitcher. So by the time you guys might hear this, the BunnyZine BZCast might be on Stitcher, and which would be awesome. So for any of you guys that use Stitcher, this is great news. I've heard from my experience in listening to other podcasts, a lot of them do upload it to Stitcher because people just love using Stitcher. It's like internet radio and internet podcasting. So I'm got my fingers crossed. I'm recording this on April 10th, 2016. As of now, I haven't heard back from them, but they have emailed me that they have received my form, and you have to fill out a form to upload it. Same thing with SoundCloud and iTunes. You have to fill out, the basic, I don't want to say paperwork because it's online, but a basic form on the RSS feed, on the websites and social media tags and just, information about the podcast and what you're uploading. So I got my fingers crossed. Again, as of right now on April 10th, I haven't heard back from them. In the initial email from Stitcher, they said it could take up to 5 business days, so I might not hear back from them till Thursday or Friday, which would be, trying to do the math, whether the 15th or the 16th. So by the time you guys might hear this, though, they might have already told me. That's what I'm crossing my fingers. So this podcast you're listening to right now could be uploaded on there. Like I said, as I'm talking, I don't know that yet. So I'm really, really excited. Again, thank you, Catherine, because that was a big help with the intro music and the Stitcher feed for sure. The name of the book is called Pod Baron, 2013 edition. For anyone who is looking to do a podcast, I found it very helpful. If you ever do want to do your own podcast, again, I found it very helpful. It does take you from the very beginning. And one of the very important things in the book when I was reading through it is that it tries to keep it as low cost as possible, or as free as possible. It is, I mean, the title of it is, I'm showing it to the screen, but you guys won't see it. It is podcasting for free. So, ours in itself isn't 100% free. You do have to pay for SoundCloud after like a certain amount of time, but still, our podcast is still relatively cheap. So again, if you guys ever want to look into that, Podbear Podcasting for Free, the 2013 edition, I found it very helpful, and I think it, for someone who's thinking about starting their own podcast, I think you'll find it very helpful. It even says throughout the book that you can contact someone if you don't understand what you're doing, which is nice. It lists out like websites or phone numbers in the book. I got a lot of notes written down today. I actually didn't really have much planned for this episode. I posted it on social media, on the Facebook page, the Twitter, and the Instagram. Again, we're Bunnyzine on Facebook. We're at Official Bunnyzine on Instagram and at Official Bzine on Twitter. We're active everywhere. We're very active on all three of those. I didn't have much going into it, and then I just kind of sat here with my piece of paper and just started taking notes as stuff just kind of popped up in my head. So if this is a solo recording, I'm hoping to have at least one guest from overseas in Australia. She's a veterinarian, a very well-known one from overseas in Australia, so I'm hoping to have her on. I'm waiting to hear back from her. That's courtesy of Yolanda of our group. So I'm just waiting to hear back from her in regards to doing a show. Going back to Instagram, I'd like to thank you guys if you are on Instagram for following us, because we just went over the 400 follower mark. It was really on Fridays or Thursdays posts. I can't remember what day it was now, but it got like over 160 likes, which is insane because we haven't, like, the most I think I ever got it, a picture, like, a picture liked on Instagram when I took over, like, doing the Instagram was maybe like 40 at the most, and then that was like a huge boost when it went to like 160. I don't know what happened. We got a ton of new followers, so that's awesome. I actually posted a video on our Instagram page, again at Official Bunnyzine. Me and Moose taking a 15-second video saying thank you to you guys. On Twitter, we went over the 350 follower mark, which is really nice. Again, if you're on Twitter, we are at Official Bzine. But like the Instagram one was just insane. I don't know how many we got. I don't know how far back I can trace it, but it felt like over 50 or 60 in like a 24-hour span, which was awesome. So thank you guys. If you're on Instagram, follow us. We'll try to follow you guys back. I try to keep it to like bunny pages, just because the bunny pages are more, I just want to say innocent. I just don't know, like, if a person follows us with their page, and if I follow back, I just don't know what their intentions are. When you see like a bunny page, and you kind of scroll through pictures and you see like the normal, fun bunny activity stuff, that's like a safe thing for us to follow. Cross that out. Shut up the Catherine. Intro. Again, when it comes to the intro music, there is a ton of material on that website if you guys are interested in listening to it for yourself. Since it is like royalty-free music, some of it is a little different than what I listen to, but like that song that you guys heard in the beginning is just called Silly Fun. So that was pretty simple and a nice beat for something that I was kind of looking towards for this podcast. Social media page. Oh, today, April 10th, I was supposed to attend a Binky Hour hosted by Bunnies United Network. I hope you guys go over to their Facebook page when you're listening to this, their Facebook page, and make sure, I'm sure they'll post some pictures or videos, most likely some pictures. When I went in February, it was a really fun time. I can't explain. I'm not a car person, so I'm the worst person to talk about cars, but I've had it in 3 shops in 2 weeks, and no one can figure out a problem. Like, it literally, my car just shuts itself off while I'm driving. And the Binky Hour is roughly 40 to 45 minutes away from me, and I would have to drive on a highway to even make that time, which isn't a big deal if I had a normal running car. But that's a really bad safety hazard. I'm endangering myself and the other drivers on the road if my car just shuts off while I'm doing 60 miles an hour on a highway. So yeah, that's why I couldn't attend today. I'm hoping they are having another one in May. I'm not sure the exact date yet, but I am hoping to attend in May. Hopefully this either a new car or this car's problem is solved. It's just insane. I've never had this kind of issue with a car before in like my 10 plus years of driving. It's ridiculous that, a normal shop, and then like a family owned shop, and then a Pep Boys, which is like a franchise shop. Neither one of the three different kind of shops can figure out a problem. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The pain. So I hope for anyone who is listening to this, who went to the Binky Hour, please let us know how it was. If you guys are listening to this and you attended the Binky Hour, let us know how it was. Post some pictures, message us some pictures on Facebook or Twitter. I do have sad news to share, as many of you guys already know. Dustin's bunny Teddy passed away. His little white bunny that he got from last year's Midwest Bun Fest. I know Dustin loved him to death, and I was really, really really, really sad news to see it. And I know Dustin, I've already shared my personal sympathy with him. I just wanted to share with you guys for anyone who might have not seen it. I'm sure most of you guys do know. So I just want to say to Teddy, Binky Free, buddy, we'll miss you. I know Dustin will miss you. And Dustin, the community, the Bunny Zine development, the Bunny Zine team, we're all here for you. Dustin already knows this, but just wanted to say it in this episode today. We'll definitely miss Teddy. When I was scrolling through the House Rabbit group page earlier this week, I noticed that someone posted about the Las Vegas situation, an update, and they said that there was at least 6 or 7 new billboards in the Las Vegas area with the "Don't Dump Rabbits" sign. That's awesome, really awesome news. Whoever, the "Don't Dump Rabbits" people, that's awesome. That's great work to get those signs up, because the situation in Las Vegas is really, really bad when it comes to abandoned rabbits that are just loose and free roaming the area. We did a podcast recording with them a couple months ago with a representative Don't Dump Rabbits, and it was very shocking to hear it. 1,000 to 2,000 rabbits are kind of roaming free in Las Vegas because they were abandoned and they don't have a home, and those are really, really harsh conditions for a rabbit to live in. Again, I was there last September 2015. It was September 5th or 6th, and it was over 100 degrees out. So I can't imagine what it's like in the early spring. Even in September is still close to summer, so I get it. But you're still entering fall. Like, Illinois in when you get to September is when you start getting into like the 60s and 50s. You start to stray away from like the 80s and 70s and 80s. So that's really cool to see about the billboards in Las Vegas. That's great work. Again, shout out to the people at the Don't Dump Rabbits website and the other people that were helping out. I know it was more than just the one website / organization, but shout out to them. They did great work. Miss Buns. Miss Buns is just like in the bunny community, in the bunny world, it's just the most on fire thing right now. I was gonna say the hottest thing, but that sounds kind of weird and awkward. But she is getting so many articles written about her amongst different websites, Movie Pilot, I believe Disney, the Dodo has done an article or two on her. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing how popular Miss Buns has gotten. She's a wonderful bunny. We've had both Dustin and I have conversations with Miss Buns' mom, and she's a pretty awesome person as well. The Zootopia movie, I have not seen it. I know that sounds blasphemous, but I will get to a theater soon to see it. Again, car problems. But I've heard really good things about it, and Judy Hopps, the main character, is just the recollect looks so much similar to Miss Buns, and it's part of Miss Buns' popularity is that Miss Buns' picture and her little police vest is coming up when people like Google Judy Hopps, which is just awesome, even though that's like the wrong thing. And Miss Buns and her mom have had like different articles and stuff about saying, hey, this is Miss Buns, not Judy Hopps. It's still pretty cool that coming out with a big movie like this, that Miss Buns is like a part of that almost. And I know she's had conversations on Twitter with like the writer or the director of the movie, which is awesome. So again, congrats to Miss Buns. It's well deserved. It's a great story. The Dodo posted a great story about her. Miss Buns was a featured. Part of her popularity started with Bunny Zine. Miss Buns was a featured rabbit on one of our issues. I want to say January or February. I'm drawing a blank on the exact month, but she's awesome. It's well deserved. She has a great story. Her and her mom have a great story about her past and being adopted. So you guys should check that out. Again, that's Miss Buns on Facebook and Twitter, and I believe Instagram as well. Or Miss Buns or Miss Bunzita. It's one of those two on the social media pages. Sorry to take a sip of tea. Penny Collins of Regarding Comic, a quick shout out to her. Again, I think I said it in the last YouTube recording that she took a Daredevil poster, like mashed-up poster with a Punisher and Elektra on it, and kind of mashed it up. She posted it again on her Twitter, and Kevin Smith, the Kevin Smith, actor, writer, director, liked it, which is really cool. He's a big superhero fan and comic book nerd. So that's really, really cool. Kevin Smith is he's got millions of followers on Twitter and Facebook. He's he's a celebrity, but it's hard to label him a celebrity because he doesn't really like make himself that way as a celebrity. He's just a guy who writes really good comedies and stars in them. Some mostly a behind the scenes guy, but it was also very vocal and very funny. So that's really cool. Again, it's just a quick shout out and like free advertising for Penny. So if you guys are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, she's also, speaking of Instagram, she is officially on Instagram now. Regarding Comic. So just search Regarding Comic on Instagram. She's on there as well. She's on Twitter at Regarding Comic and on Facebook as Regarding Comic. Sorry. And I'm sure most of you already know about her work, but it's really, really good. It's really funny. It could also be very informal. Like when she was doing posts about the adopting a rabbit for Easter presents, those were very informal. So again, shout out to Penny of Regarding Comic. You guys should follow her. And Tumblr as well. I think that was like the main base of her start from Tumblr, and then expanded onto like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you're on Tumblr, make sure you follow Regarding Comic. Again, for future shows, I'm not sure how much longer this episode will go. I'm kind of flying through everything. I'm hoping to have that vet on as a guest of the show from Australia. That'd be really cool. It'll be a little different. Because it will be recorded on Skype. I cannot do an international phone call. My phone bill will skyrocket. So it'll have to be through Skype, and there will be a huge time difference. When I was speaking to Yali of our Bunny's End development team, she's of course the person behind the Residents of the Fairy Castle Farm Facebook page. I think she said between her and I, it was like a 15-hour time difference or something insane like that. So that'll be a little more difficult to try to work out the timing of doing this show, because that is a huge time jump. But I think we could get it done. She is a veterinarian. They do work odd hours and different times of the day and the night. So hopefully we can do that episode. Let's see. Actually, right before I started this recording, Joyce Michelle Cohen, who's always been someone who's asked questions to me on the show. So thank you, Joyce, for always either leaving a comment or asking a question. She asked about natural products working on her rabbit. And she said she used a natural product one time. When it comes to using natural products or products that aren't, or medicine that's not given by a doctor, or you know what I mean, a veterinarian, I would consult with someone at like a rescue, an educator at a rescue. They should be someone who should give it to you straight on whether this would or would not work. Some people, I can understand why they wouldn't ask their vet, or why they think their vet would be biased because of the whole medical industry conspiracy. Like, doctors want you to spend your money to see them and spend money on medicine, and people might think that with their animals. I could kind of get that. I can kind of see where you're coming from. So I would contact someone. I'm personally not someone who is educated to give a proper answer on that. But if you have a local rescue with someone that you trust, an educator at that rescue, I would consult with them. If you don't think, I would probably ask my veterinarian first personally, and then if for some reason I didn't trust my veterinarian to give me like a proper answer, like I said a minute ago, some people might think that the veterinarian doesn't want them to take it because, they want them to spend money on their medicine and put it towards their practice, rather than probably spending a little less money and trying something else different. Again, personally, I would ask the vet if I was looking into something like that. And then I would probably message someone. I have a friend, Jan from HRS Chicago. I've asked her many questions over the past six to 8 months since I've had my 2 bunnies. And I would just straight up ask her the question. The people at the rescues, from what I've noticed, are very reachable. Like they have like their email information to ask them questions. So if you don't trust, I'm saying this a lot, but if you don't trust a veterinarian to give you like a proper answer or an answer that you'll trust, then I would find someone at your local rescue that you think you can trust, an educator at that rescue, and ask them for their advice and what they think about the product that you're asking about. That's the only information I can provide on that. Again, I'm not educated to really give a great answer on that as my heat kicks onto my house. I have to give a shout out to Katie Straka. She is the host, or not the host. She's a admin for the Bridge Bunny Forever in Our Hearts Facebook page. Again, that page, Katie was a guest of mine a long time ago, months ago. That page is for those of us who have lost, who are grieving after a loss of a bunny. The page is very, very helpful. And it's just there because it's not just there, but it's there because there are some people who just don't have, someone to talk to about their loss of their bunny. And, friends and family members sometimes don't understand it as they would with like a cat or a dog. That seems ridiculous, but it's true. And I'm sure a lot of you listening can probably nod your head yes and say, yeah, they don't understand how much this hurts and how much I miss my bunny. That's what that page is very helpful. There's a group of, I don't know how many people, hundreds of people in that group, maybe over 1,000. I haven't checked in like the group numbers in a long time. But that page is very helpful. There's a lot of people there to help you with your grief, and it's very, very helpful for the ones that have lost a bunny. Personally, I've found it very helpful. Katie does a great job running it. I was also giving Katie a shout out because she was doing posts about the Zoo Corner Rabbit Rescue. They have shirts that they're selling for, as like a fundraiser to raise funds for their rescue. Again, that's Zoo Corner, ZOOH, is I believe how it's spelled. Zoo Corner Rabbit Rescue, is I believe is how it's spelled. Is doing like a campaign, or not a campaign. Is raising funds for their rescue by selling these shirts. I think it says, I wish the Rainbow Bridge at visiting hours. It has a bunny and like a rainbow on it. So again, if if that's a nice shirt that you would think you would want, that's a really good cause. You're buying a nice shirt and you're helping out the rescue, which is the most important part. So, hey, you get a shirt out of it for donating toward, giving money towards the rescue, which is really cool. So again, check out Zoo Corner Rabbit Rescue. I'm sure they have a website, and I know they have a Facebook page, so check them out. Again, this recording is April 10th, 2016. So this is actually our first episode post-Easter. So in the whatever, I don't remember the exact date of Easter, end of March. So in the 10, 11, 12 days, whatever, however long it's been, there have been 3 rabbits that have been brought to Red Door Animal Shelter in Chicago, Illinois, which is a rescue within an hour of me. Again, I really want to see that number go down, and I think it will. I have faith that it will, because there were so many campaigns going into this year's Easter. Of course, the Make Mine Chocolate, that wonderful organization, we did an episode with them, and then the other main one that Bunny Zine supports and we featured on our podcast was not just for Easter. So for everyone who posted stuff on social media websites about those, in support of those campaigns and building awareness about adopting rabbits as Easter presents. I just wanted to say thank you. It's going to get bigger every year. I have a feeling that these campaigns are going to get bigger and we're going to see these abandoned numbers go down. I have a feeling about it. I have a good feeling about it because so many people, more people are participating every year, which is awesome to see. Speaking of Easter, I do have a quick story about my personal Easter Sunday drinking some tea, with my wife's family. Very nice and loving people, been very good to me, but I had one of those, I'm sure all of you guys have had this moment in your lives when you've come across friends or family who you just don't know. So we were sitting, they do like this big breakfast, and they have, not like alcohol, but, drinks everywhere, that, coffee, milk, orange juice, and there's a couple of tables to sit at. The one table I chose to sit at after I got my food was just a small enclosed family room, but like the chairs are really close to the wall, so it's like a pain getting in and out of the chair. So I sit down, we're talking about with the family. There's like a few weddings coming up, so we're just talking about weddings and other stuff. Again, it's just and then me and my wife and her side of the family. She has a couple uncles sit down at the table. Her mom and dad and brother, and then another like cousin or two. So eventually I always get this question every time I see these guys. I see them a few times a year, mostly holidays, but a few times a year, about how's our rabbits at home, and I'm getting questions about the rabbits. How long do they live, and what are they like? Which are okay questions. I don't have a problem with that at all. Answering those questions, anyone in general. And then we're just going back and forth, and I was like, and then we're talking about Moose because they saw like a picture of him on Facebook or something, and I was like, yeah, he's a Flemish. And then we're talking about Nova. She's a little, I'm not exactly sure what Nova is even, but my little black bunny. And then it gets into the conversation because I forgot that a couple of these guys I don't think any of them hunt now, but they used to, like a long time ago, either growing up or when they were like in their 20s. They used to talk, they started getting into the conversation of how good rabbit tasted and how like lean, and I really wanted to just flip the table onto them. Like, I just had to kind of sit there because I was kind of like, my wife wasn't sitting there at the time. I'm kind of jammed in between the wall and the table with the chair, and I have someone next to me, so they would pretty much have to get up and move for me to get up and move. I'm just like, I'm basically just ignoring them, and then they were asking me about if I ever, and I was like, no, just giving them one-word answers, and I hate that. I never thought I would have to go through that personally with her family, but that was such a pain, and I try not to swear. But yeah, so I've heard of people getting those questions. Penny, speaking of Penny Collins and regarding comic, I think she mentioned in a comic strip before. Sorry, I couldn't spit that out. That someone was talking about eating rabbits, and she just was. The cartoon was her like screaming at the person. If I remember that right. So that was interesting. And then they were talking like, when are we ever getting I can't even remember what they said. When are you guys getting the four-legged animal, referring to a dog? And I'm like, well, it might happen, it might not happen. Mostly we do want one, but the backyard is not fenced in. We'd essentially have to buy a new fence. So so he doesn't take off and, run down the street and, and just run free. So that was an interesting. I'm also curious to know if you guys have also had those experiences with friends or family. Usually it is with, from what I've heard from other people, it is like close friends or family. You think they would be the ones to not, be a pain and not ask those kind of stupid questions. Like, why would you ask me about or talk to me about a rabbit, rabbit being good meat to eat when I have 2 at home that aren't, even if you think they're just pets, no one just keeps an animal as a pet to, as free roaming to eat, to eat it. You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, I just took a deep breath and tried not to explode when I was sitting at the table and flipping the table on them, because I wasn't expecting it. I was also caught off guard because I just wasn't expecting it. I wasn't, I never thought that I'd get that kind of stupid question from them. Again, they're good people. It was just a couple of them the uncles who apparently like hunted in the past. So, go figure. So I hope everyone did have a good Easter. Overall, still a good Easter. That was just a few minutes of awkwardness and annoying and being mad. But outside of that, it was a pretty good Easter. I hope you guys had an awesome Easter as well, you and your bunnies. I consider it like their holiday. Bunny rabbits is Easter. Just because they're just so connected to Easter, whether we want them to be or not, they are. I mean, when you go to the Target and Walmart and a bunch of other stores, you just see bunny stuff everywhere. And that's when you go crazy shopping and buying all of it. And that's how we have a lot of our bunny stuff in the house, is probably buying it around Easter time. When the little glass doll guys and salt and pepper shakers. I'm looking around. We have a bunny light in the bathroom. We have like a bunny north, south, east, west little post thing in our backyard. So whether we like it or not, bunnies are just kind of stuck being along with Easter. And like I said, I consider it their holiday. So as soon as I got home, because we went there earlier in the morning, I spent most of the rest of the day with them and giving them, treats and letting them terrorize boxes and paper towel rolls, and other stuff like that. I'm trying to think looking at my notes. I'm going to take a quick look. Don't worry, I'm not just going to not stop talking. Quick look just to make sure if no one else emailed anything or left any comments or so forth on Facebook. Okay, so no, there really isn't anything new on the Facebook thing. I was just double checking just to make sure no one left an email or comment post on my phone. Again, you should be able to find this podcast on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You should also be able to find it, maybe not this podcast, but the next one on Stitcher, Stitcher.com. So, again, stay tuned for that. Our fingers are crossed for the podcast to be on Stitcher. I almost went through the whole show without saying this. Our new e-magazine. The last time, our new issue, the last time I talked to you guys, it was like the end of March and it hadn't been out yet. Our last YouTube recording revealed the cover of it. On the cover is Frederick. He has his own Facebook page. I think it's just his name is Frederick on the Facebook page. I think he's a continental giant or some sort of giant. Very awesome bunny from Germany. So make sure you guys go to our Facebook page or our Twitter page, which is @officialbzine or bunnyzine on Facebook. You'll find the links for the to download the issue, there will be the pinned post, which is like the tagged post on both pages, both our Instagram and on our Facebook. It's also in our bio on Instagram. Like, so if you go to our Instagram homepage, you'll see a link. That link is the new issue with Frederick on the cover, so you could download it if you're on Instagram as well. Make sure you guys do. Every time you guys download it and ask other people to download it, it's a big help to Bunnyzine. And helping us helps Bunnyzine grow bigger, and when we grow bigger, we can give you guys more stuff. So again, make sure you hop over to Facebook or Twitter, go to the pinned post, and click the link to download the new issue. Take another quick look at my notes, and that's pretty much it, guys. Again, it was a pretty short solo episode. Maybe you guys like them a little shorter. I always hover around the hour mark. This will be 40 or 41 minutes. I wish the one final note, as I usually have a final note at the end of every episode, is that I wish I was more educated to answer some of these questions. There are more questions that I think if I was an educator or someone who worked more with bunnies and at like rescues and was trying to become an educator. There's probably a lot more that I can talk about in regards to like bunny health or the bunny natural products, or bunny behavior, bunny body language, bunny bonding. Like a lot of that stuff, I just kind of refer to you guys to rabbit.org. You can find a lot of that information on there as well. That's pretty much the number one rabbit resource out there. So visit them if you guys do have any questions. Again, I wish I was more educated to answer those kind of questions, but I'm not. So everything that I do for the show is I never want to tell you guys that I'm not gonna lie to you guys and give you guys a fake answer, because that's not helping anyone. That's just doing detriment to you and I. So when it comes to like today's question from Joyce, and thank you again, Joyce, for asking your question. But it's just a question amongst health and bonding and other stuff like that I'm not qualified to answer. But still feel free to ask questions. Again, the questions can be about Bunnyzine. They could be about the Bunnyzine team. They could be about me. They could just be about bunny topics. I love talking about bunny topics to you guys. Today was just more so sharing some news with you guys. As you could tell, I'm telling my my own Easter Easter story experience, my Easter 2016 experience. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, you guys. Again, we are at official Bunnyzine on Instagram, official BZine on Twitter, and then Bunnyzine on Facebook. Please like us and follow us there. Please subscribe and share the podcast when it posts to YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. And again, we're trying to be on Stitcher. I'll update you guys probably before you hear this on like Facebook and Twitter, if we're going to be on Stitcher or not. And I think we will be. I'm pretty confident that we will be. So again, I want to thank you guys for listening. We'll do a little bit of outro music with the intro music. As it's not playing, of course it's not. Or it is playing, but it's not. Oh, there we go. Hold on. There we go. So again, thank you guys for listening. This is, of course, Silly Fun. The music from Incomtech.com. Kevin MacLeod. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please share and subscribe. You have a good day.